a brand new day, a brand new week, and also a brand new month. When does this happen? 4444.
Wow.
That's special. Now, welcome to your numero uno breakfast show. It's great to be back for another run, another 5 days.
Yeah.
Let's make this week memorable for you.
Welcome to the bright side of television. Happy Workers' Day, everyone. Thank you so much for your contribution to the furtherance of civilization by putting in
and of course, we know that without a worker, civilization will not be possible. I'm thinking about from the pyramids in Egypt.
Wow, true.
I mean, how the things that they even did then still baffle us up until now. There is really dignity in labor and toys.
Honestly, if you know a worker in your environment, pat them on the back, shake their hand, congratulate them on a job well done. It's a public holiday, and we know that a lot of our viewers are at home with their families. Hence, we prepared a special Monday edition to keep everyone together.
One other way we know that it's a public holiday is that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is not as congested as it was.
Wow.
I know Friday and Saturday, some people have memorable
Experiences.
I'm thinking about experiences. If I say experiences, it
What?
kind of brings it down because the passion, even the road to Calvary was not that hard.
Wow,
But hey,
Mike,
come on.
stop it.
It's great to be
please.
here with you this morning. My name is Mike Messi-Keno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. We have Mary looking bright and beautiful in the kitchen. And,
Yeah, but we'll get to her definitely later on. You can watch us if you're watching. It's on GOTV channel 16.
Yeah.
We've moved.
Yes,
And
sir.
of course, on the terrestrial band is the ultra high frequency 49.
Yes, sir.
We are also live on YouTube and Facebook. So
Yes,
hey,
sir.
come on. We're back on YouTube, so you can tell people out there wherever
Yeah.
you're watching us. You can check us out on YouTube. It's at TVC Entertainment.
Yeah.
That's the handle on YouTube.
We love the comments and contributions that always pop up on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, all the socials. We love them. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And we're going to begin today with the big games. And of course, our
SDJ, as she's fondly called, has over 12 years of experience in idea conceptualization, brand management, and effective brand communication. That's a Daja. You've seen for quite a while. He'll be performing for us this morning. And of course, we have our final guest, Gospel Nwachukwu, here on the SME segment to talk about it's tech, everything tech these days. But Workers' Day, May 1st, International Workers' Day, apart from the US, it's not celebrated in the US. Workers' Day is on the first Monday in September in the US.
For the US, okay.
Yes, but internationally, May 1st, Workers' Day and all of that. And like I said, for me, the underlying factor always is dignity in labor.
Yeah.
Understanding that, look, you can find honest work, you can find dignified, let's not take dignified, honest in terms of, look, you are not harming people, you're not harming the environment, and you're doing well by whatever God you believe in, that doesn't harm people.
True.
Then, yes, you should celebrate as a worker, and workers everywhere should be celebrated.
And then I feel it's an opportunity for organizations to actually appreciate their internal customers for once.
Yeah.
So their staff give so much week in, week out, month out. And I think organizations should actually take note of how hard a lot of their staff are actually working. Now, there was this video about these Asian kids in a classroom where the teacher decided to play a video of their parents at work. So the kids were able to see their parents, carrying wheelbarrows, sacks of rice and things like that, just to be able to, fend for their families. And it gave those kids a different perspective. Like, okay, yeah, this is what my parents actually do. They work and they work hard, so that they'll have that mindset of, hey, there is dignity in labor.
I want to, with what you said, I also want to give a shout out to Nigerian parents. I know some parents of my friends, people I know who worked, everything off to get their children, to train their children. Some of them even, while earning in Nigerian denomination, are training children
abroad.
Outside. We have a lot of parents doing that. So big shout out to Nigerian parents. We just also want to mention that from today we'll be having an in-depth newspaper review, so you wouldn't want to miss that as an addition to our stables on Wake Up Nigeria.
At this point, let's find out what the weather is going to be like this May Day.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now we begin with Sudan, where after a few days of hitches in the evacuation process of Nigerians due to financial issues, the Nigerian government has now resumed the process. At a media briefing in Abuja, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, who doubles as the chairman of the Situation Room, said another set of 31 buses have started moving students and other nationals out of Sudan. Moyo Thomas reports.
The evacuation process of Nigerians from Sudan has raised so much concern among citizens after several videos surfaced online indicating hitches in the process.
To Port Sudan,
some of the many questions the process has raised were answered by the chairman of the Situation Room on the evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan and the permanent secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Nasir Sani Gwaza. He says government will ensure the evacuation of all registered nationals, and about 5,500 Nigerians have been identified. So far, 637 has been moved from Sudan to the Egyptian border, where they have over the past 3 days faced challenges of being cleared.
Our plane is there now in Aswan, waiting to receive these people, but they have not been able to move them from the borders into Aswan. So clearly there is a difficulty, but that is a difficulty that our principals are trying to resolve. I must say that our principals, the ministers, even the SGF, the NSO, NSA, and even Mr. President.
He says all available resources are being used, including collaboration with international organizations to ensure the safe passage of evacuees to Aswan, where they will be airlifted. He confirms that President Buhari has made necessary calls and contact on the matter. The disturbing news of non-payment of drivers, which has hampered the movement, is cleared as a matter of miscommunication.
They gave us 13 vehicles and closed the matter. All efforts to get them moved, they said, no, that is deposit, give us another deposit. And that is not the language. We were speaking two different languages. Now that we've understood their language, we have decided to pay everything. So we have paid everything. As I'm speaking with you, tell anybody that you have who is over there to send you pictures, and I have my own. The vehicles are rolling out of Khartoum. And we told them, we delayed them for 3 reasons. We were in a dilemma of what to do. Now that we have sent the first batch to Egypt, it is 4 days in the Egyptian border. Nobody has been allowed entry, not a single person. Should we continue to amass people in that border? Do you know what border means in those desert areas?
The government official explains that the movement of the monies, even without receipt, is monitored by the DSS and NFIU. Apart from the 1,519 Nigerian nationals in the 31 buses leaving Khartoum today, the Nigerian government will continue to mop up citizens willing to be evacuated, taking advantage of the window provided by the extension of the ceasefire by a further 72 hours. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
A bit of good news, construction work on the Kara as well as the Long Bridge access of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway have been completed and open to traffic in the early hours of Sunday. When TVC News visited that stretch of the busy highway, the main carriageway, both inbound from Beja and outbound to Shagamu Interchange on Section 1 of the project, has been completed. In a statement, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, explained that the contractors are being encouraged to ensure that the final challenging phase of the expressway reconstruction is concluded as soon as possible. Now, according to the minister, attention will now be focused on the outstanding work between Otedola Bridge and Beja on both sides. Some road users expressed divergent views on the developments as traffic built up and eased at different time of the day.
It's a promise that they've never kept to at any point. So we are used to it. We knew that you are not going to meet up. It's been like this for almost 2 years now. And it's getting worse on daily basis. We don't even know what they are doing. It grew worse on daily basis. There is no advice to have for them because we did take the advice. They lack me a traffic management system, so that has been the problem. There's a way you manage a busy road like this, not this man that they are approaching it.
It's hectic, but we just don't have any option since it's for the betterment of the state. When they are through with the road, we still enjoy it. So we have to suffer the traffic for the meantime. We just need understanding between the drivers to know that it's for our own good and then follow the instruction and the traffic rule.
Okay.
Happy Workers' Day.
Yeah.
Yes, happy Workers' Day.
Happy Workers' Day. Just a continuation from what we're talking about. Mary wasn't there while we're talking about it. We're talking about the dignity in labor. Mary, I know you are a hard worker. I've seen you. Your WhatsApp status at times, I can't go through it.
So
But that's that. But
it's like waist bead.
so yeah, this is me. I think it's my own personal form of advice also to yourself and Dolako, two people that I know do wonderful stuff. I feel like maybe if you put all of them in a mash or a collage, it might be better. I don't know. But you do the business, so maybe you've seen it and it
Because
works for
people
you.
don't see it clearly. So
People
that's
don't see
why,
it clearly.
yes.
So
So,
you have
they
to-
usually want to see
So
it
sometimes you're starting
So
like
now
a
I've
waste
changed it. I don't post more than 9-10 at a time.
at a time. So you leave that
My
90
sister
for like
advised
24
me.
hours.
Yes,
So we're
sir.
talking about when what you market on your WhatsApp. I mean, WhatsApp is now. But then when I see people that have personal numbers and I send them, I say, hey, how far are they? You have reached this.
Oh, automated messages.
What is wrong with some of you? So what I
Business is work. Mike, the fact that you don't have one,
Okay.
with all the projects you do, you should have your own.
They said Igwe has it. Let me just say something. When it's too long, it's a problem.
Oh,
Make it short. So some people like, I am the CEO of Igwe Yinka Corporation. I am also a Chelsea fan. If you are Arsenal fan, don't send me. So what I'm saying
Stop
is that it's so
it.
long. So it should be like a prompt. It should be as short and as precise as possible.
True.
Welcome to da.
Yeah.
How can we help you? Or how can I help you? I think. So there's that. It's almost like prompts.
Yeah.
When you call and all that, it should be short, sharp. Why don't you have it, Mary?
So I used to have a business. I used to have WhatsApp business, but then I thought of it as a nuisance because for me, most of the people I deal with are on a personal basis. So I feel like maybe when I'm going to expand my business, then I can switch to WhatsApp business with another number because it's usually important to separate your business line from. I mean, 1,000 groups. So even as at now, I miss messages, which is really terrible. I had to archive many of the groups I'm in just so I can see messages. So it's actually a challenge. But apart from that, I believe that people have their personal numbers. You should have the one that when people message you, you won't be able to miss the messages. And that's what I'm actually working towards.
How about you? See,
yeah.
you should have a business, but you
So
don't.
I have a business line.
Okay.
I separated my business line from my personal line
Eh.
because it was just too much. So that was the line that was on all my public platforms, social media and all that. But the thing is, whenever I have an assistant or an intern or someone with me, they go through everything and then tell me which one is relevant. And then I go through it. But I want to piggyback on something you started saying.
Yeah.
You know, you said, how can we help you? That should be the message, short and sweet. So I feel like we should use that as a link to how can the government help the people a little more. And with the report that just came out on the 30th, apparently in Lagos, we took delivery of
Yes, we did.
some electric buses.
When I saw that story, I was on both at electric, okay, and then
Electric
I saw,
buses,
yes, the governor posted it on his handle.
Yeah.
Beautiful buses, I must say. And you know the first thing that came to my mind, that came to the minds of many Lagosians.
Yeah.
The first thing, do we have electricity? So I looked at, so it began a debate on both sides, and both sides had valid points. You understand? Do we have constant electricity? That's one. But then, for buses like that, they have charging points, which, due to a partnership with a particular firm, the government has said the charging points will be at different locations. And one interesting thing which the governor also mentioned that on a full charge, it can take about 280 kilometers.
Yeah.
And in a day, it is estimated that the bus will run 260. So what it needs in a
One
day
full charge
is less
can
than a
take
full
it,
charge.
yeah.
But it's a battery.
Yeah.
It will, you know, it will erode, or the value will drop over time.
Over time.
We're saying that now we can start. So, but then there's the other side. In countries like Germany, Austria, there are some roads that charge the cars.
Oh,
You know,
where are you trying to run to now, Mike?
okay.
Calm down. How many kilometers is Third Mainland Bridge? How many kilometers? It's like
50, 55?
55, 57.
55,
If you're going on the express.
55, yeah.
If you go down the express to maybe like a toll gate, that's
Yeah.
like 57, right?
Yeah, so my first estimate might not have been right. I'm not
Yeah,
very sure.
yeah.
Don't hold me.
Yeah.
Don't take my word to the bank.
But-
But according to what they say, it
Yeah.
can last a day with full charge.
Yeah,
So the thing
that's
with
not
a
bad.
day is, just
not bad.
imagine we have a bus like that was to last a day, and then it got stranded on this
Traffic.
Lagos. Lagos.
Okay, so we're not
I
supposed
didn't
to
think
laugh.
of that.
No, see,
It's not funny.
It's funny,
it's not
because
We need to think of that.
you cannot
Yes.
push that kind of bus.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
So if Lagos
there's
Ibadan-
nothing you can do. You are now
You are right.
stranded there because there's certain traffic that you didn't plan for.
Sure.
And there's absolutely no control. It's not like power bank. You cannot say they should go and bring the
Well,
power bank to come and charge the bus. The bus is going to be
If
stuck
there is a
there,
company you're
unless maybe
partnering
they
with-
throw it away.
If there's a company you're partnering with to create charging ports, there could be a company you partner with
Mobile.
to put solar panels on top of the bus. We can't say.
Possible,
Technology is
possible,
going
possible,
really
yes,
far. You
possible.
never know.
But the thing is this, the amount of solar panels that will be needed
Yeah.
to create enough power to charge will be very much.
Yeah.
And that will be an extra weight. You need to think about it. But I think that on both sides there are valid points. The government, wonderful initiative.
Yeah.
But then the concerns of people should not also just be discarded.
yeah.
I would want to say that the governor also spoke about the greener Lagos. It's good. The pollution and all of that is really quite a problem.
Emissions.
Emissions.
The
Yeah.
government
But
has
then,
to actually take the first
yes,
step
but then
towards-
having the BRT, but apart from that, there's plenty, the Loma buses, trucks, and all of that. There's quite a lot of other things that pollute the atmosphere, or as it were. So, but I think that, see, one step, no matter how small,
Yes,
once
it's
it's
still a
forward,
step, yeah.
it is still a step. And it can be managed, it will reduce the cost or the reliance on fuel.
Yes, which might reduce the cost of transportation as well.
And then we know
Yes,
that
yes.
very soon, even though I heard it's been moved, we know that subsidies now are going to be taken off. And that will, everything around Nigeria is based on fuel.
Yeah.
If they increase fuel, everything will increase because fuel, you understand?
Yeah.
So if we have things that are not reliant on fuel, it's a step forward.
So another thing that I actually find worrisome is the way people do not respect designated lanes. I see certain areas, they're actually BRT lanes, and people decide that
That's where they want to
BRT
drive.
is not their business.
If they
And
catch
so see, there's a different thing if you do not know, which of course, in law, ignorance is not an excuse. There's a different thing if you don't know, but some people will be like, I'm going to pass this place. And so sometimes you see traffic that BRT buses should be driving through.
Yeah.
It now becomes a general thing because people that shouldn't be on that lane are actually in the BRT lane, and so it causes heavy traffic. This is actually a call out to everyone who does that. Please, we don't want the electric bus that has calculated its distance to the next charging port to go and stop because people are blocking the lane. See, the bad part of it is you will not move, the bus will not move, everybody will now be stranded. So please, let's begin to respect ourselves.
I
We will
think
not be doing
emergency
so.
charging ports at every bus stop, maybe
that might-
every
that's
major bus
cost,
stop,
so
major bus stop.
costing.
But we are not paying for fuel now.
But electric...
So let's think.
There's no light.
Charging point, there's no light.
In the night, once they
You
put
know,
that charging point,
They
in the
say they
night,
partner with company now.
Yes, but you know
They
when
will
people
charge
go and be
it.
charging their phones there. If they, see, Titi, let's go
really?
to ourselves. Do you know I've seen people charging at this
yes,
mast?
yes.
So-
All these
Interesting.
telecommunications masts.
Yes, the same
People go
way.
there to charge
Wow.
their phones.
The same
That's
way
where they'll go and
somebody-
charge.
the same
Before
way-
you know it, Nigerians tap lights. They will tap lights to those things, to their houses. You are laughing. It's
But I've
true.
actually seen in someone's house, they had an electric car, they had a solar charging port for their car.
Where did you call it?
I've seen
Where did you say it is?
What? Inside Lagos.
Inside, no, you said inside
their
where?
compound. Inside their compound.
this
You have
charging-
answered the question.
People, things are changing.
This charging phone
Things are
issue, I
changing.
also heard about somebody, patient that went to the hospital.
Oh.
And they gave you word, and they gave you bed. Say, no, I want my bed to be close to socket. Are you really sick?
Wow.
So that you can be charging your phone. I'm serious, no jokes. No jokes. You're looking for where they can charge you. But we know power is really quite I mean,
Yeah.
the day when we do hack that thing, I tell you that the level of development that will come to us will be unheard of. It will be great on a Brobdinogian level.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how we'll move once we can sort out hack power issues.
Well, everyone loves tear-rubber vehicles. The brand new buses seem to be amazing, and hopefully they will be for a long time to
They
come.
will be. Amen.
Let's take a quick break now. We'll still have loads more for you this May Day on Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome to the kitchen this beautiful Workers' Day Monday morning. Our chef today is about to give us something I believe we've never had on the show before, something really fantastic. And that's besides the fact that we've never had her on the show before. It's good to have you here in the studio with us, Kate Delish. How are you doing today?
Very fine, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning indeed. Fantastic. So what are we having for breakfast?
Okay, we're having the unusual asun rice this morning.
See what I said about something we've never had here? Asun rice. Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I should be considering making soon. Let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making of?
Okay, the first ingredient should be your asun. That's goat meat.
This is a lot of goat meat.
And
Okay.
it's deboned. There's no bone there. So.
Okay.
And here we have the pepper.
What
chili
is it?
pepper.
Just chili
Just
pepper?
chili
No
pepper, yes.
tomatoes,
No
nothing.
tomatoes.
Okay.
And we have vegetable oil.
Okay.
This is stock for the
From the,
goat meat, yes.
Okay.
And here's our basmati rice.
Okay.
And here we have the green pepper.
Okay.
Here onions shredded.
Shredded and then
this
you
is
chop.
the chopped one.
Okay.
Here is our carrot shredded,
Shredded
too.
as well.
And here's our red bell pepper.
Okay.
Shredded.
And then seasoning cubes,
And
ginger and garlic,
and sesame oil.
sesame oil. Okay, so with all of these ingredients now, could you run me through the process of making this dish?
Okay, yeah, but the process is very easy though.
Ah, so every chef says.
It's very easy.
Okay.
So the thing now is our first should be frying of our veggies.
Okay.
Just we stir fry a bit
Okay.
of our veggies here.
Okay.
Then we set aside.
So stir fry the veggies first, then set aside. Why are we stir frying the veggies first? Is it a one pot dish? Like everything is happening
Everything
in
is
one pot?
one pot.
Oh, so we stir fry it, put it
stir fry it so
aside
that-
to use the pot for
Yes.
something else. Okay. So what happens next?
So what happens next is just clean your pot back, then add your vegetable oil,
okay.
then your asun, the goat meat.
Okay. So you have to fry it.
Fry a bit.
Okay, just a
Because it's
bit.
still going to come up with the food, so it
Okay.
won't get too overdone
Or too
something.
chewy. Okay.
Yes.
So
The goat meat, then onions, the chopped one, not the diced.
okay.
Add the chopped onions and the
Pepper.
chili pepper, yes.
Okay, so when you add you remove the meat first after
No,
frying.
the meat will be there.
The meat stays and then you add in the
Yes,
chopped
the
onions and the
and
pepper. Oh.
And just fry a bit, then you add your basmati rice. You fry that. So you don't want it to be very soft. You have to fry with the asun, so the taste will be in the rice.
So wait, you are frying the basmati rice
Yes.
with the
With
asun,
the asun
which
and
already has the pepper mix.
pepper and the onions and the chopped onions.
So you're then going to boil the rice.
After frying the rice inside, then add your stock and water. Let it
Boil.
boil.
normally.
Yes.
Wow. How come I've never tried this before?
So you can give it a try today.
Because the advantage is basmati doesn't take long to cook.
Yes.
And it doesn't require so much water. So the stock and a little bit of water will ensure that the essence of the goat meat still stays. So you still have your asun flavor the way it should be. This is actually quite nice. So you didn't mention the ginger and garlic.
Yeah,
where does it go into?
It
Inside
comes when we are stir frying this veggies.
Okay, it's part of stir frying the
Yes.
veggies, right? And then, of course, the seasoning cube
seasoning
for the
cube.
rice. You know what? I think we should get started with the process.
Okay.
Okay?
You notice that we don't have salt here because the stock and this
They are already well
yeah.
salted. Oh, so the stock has all the salt we need, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's start this process. Let's show some of it before we... Do you need a smaller pot? Let me make use of this. Okay. There you go. So there you go.
I want it to fry. Can I use the real asun pot?
Why not?
Okay, let's use the real asun pot.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to use the real asun pot. So when next you come to the kitchen, you will see us doing everything in the real asun pot. You know how that work is like? There's a name they call it. I don't know why it's escaping me now, but you could call it a walk, so to speak. At this time, however, while we try to get on with the process, let's join Titi and Mike on the couch for newspaper headlines.
Yeah, it's a newly redesigned, not just the headlines now. We are
Yeah.
going to have an in-depth review. Titi, you want to tell us about who we have?
Yes, we have Dr. Dayo Kayode joining us this morning. He's a social-political technocrat, and he's contributed on TVC many times before. It's great to have you in the studio.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's my pleasure being with you this morning, especially when you are starting this your new program. I'm highly delighted to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Dayo.
Pleasure, sir.
All right, so there are quite a few major headlines, and if we take a quick look at the Punch this morning, it says here, 8-year scorecard. Workers lament hardship, score Buhari governors low on welfare. It goes forward to talk about the high cost of living and the minimum wage and so much more. I'm not sure if you've had conversations on this area before now.
Because it seems like there's a disconnect with what the workers and the people feel the government has done, and then on that scorecard, the government is rating themselves very high on that scorecard.
Yeah, you see, I've been having series of conversations on this before now, and my own perspective had always been very different. How is, yes, government might not be doing as much as the workers are expected. But again, there's a kind of latitude within the NLC itself. Because right from the days of Pa Imudu and the people like this other man, they have been asking for minimum wage. And I've been asking NLC, can't you think further to ask for something else that will not always be removing the effect of even the minimum wage being given to you? And that is what I call sustainable take-home pay. When you're talking of sustainable take-home pay, any slight increase in anything will have to be effected there. You see, because of our time, I will not be able to talk much about the template of that sustainable take-home pay. Some other times I call it sustainable minimum living standard. Whenever you arrive at that, the template will have been there. If there is an increase in any tariff, then it must affect this. The percentage there must be reflected here. So everybody will know. And then the government will now be able to sit down properly for saying, oh, if you do this, it will affect this. This is going to be the effect. And then everybody will be a kind of a check to each other. So while I'm blaming the government, the workers, the NLC, they have the highest blame because they've never changed their narrative since the days of power mode.
True that. The agitation has always been the same. But let's move over. Let's check out Daily Independent. This is a bit connected because on Daily Independent here, we have it that incoming government, that is, of course, of the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, may consider phased fuel subsidy removal. We've heard talk about the timing being moved. And now we've also heard talk about a loan that was taken to help, with the effects of the subsidy removal and all of that. How is it feasible? Is it tenable at this particular point to remove the subsidy? And then how can it be having it or putting it in phases? How can that work?
The issue is, do we even need that first subsidy in the first instance? I remember in those days as a growing up young boy, when I go to the filling station with my father, he always tell them, fill up. And to fill up is then 404 polio, and later 504. Was it up to even 1 naira? And then you have differences. Do you want to buy super or ordinary? Do we still have it these days? Why were we having that? Our refineries were working. Not only refineries working now, the depot that the Nigerian government was controlling, those in Ore, Monsimi, Apapa here, in Nasarawa, all over the country, they were all there. But today, what do we have?
I wanted to touch on the fact that the term phased fuel subsidy removal was used in this particular headline.
Why I'm saying,
So,
why I'm talking about this is because of that your statement, phased. You don't even need to face anything. All you need to do is let our refineries start working. Let all those depots, because when you also bring all those PMS to those depots, they also put their own charges there. By the time our refineries are listen, look at the way gas is being affected on this Russian war. Imagine if we have not been flaring our gas. Imagine how much money we'll have been making. Now, will we be having problems to pay workers? Will we be talking about subsidy? You and I will have been enjoying. Nigeria has no reason to be poor. And what I'm now saying in essence is this. The incoming administration should let it be in their forefront that, listen, all these refineries must work. The money you are spending on subsidy, go and do your calculation. They are enough to be, all the money we have been using on subsidy since all these days, put them together. There is no say that is not supposed to be having at least 3 modular refineries. Then where we will be talking about subsidy.
Wonderful.
We wanted to touch on Nigerian News Direct's headline, no plan to phase out redesigned Naira notes. According to CBN, page 3 has more on that on Nigerian News Direct. So the fact that there needs to be a plan and the first thing we see is no plan, I think there are a lot of questions there.
Why is it even in the discourse, in public discourse? Why should we be thinking of phasing the new ones out?
The question now is even this. With the humongous amount of money that was spent in making these new Naira notes, when last have you seen one?
Well,
when last
very good question.
Do you understand? When last have you seen one? Are they there?
I actually saw one last night, but it was under a heap of...
The same thing here.
Yeah, true.
Do you understand? So the question is, the system or the concept of, I call it emephonics.
Interesting.
The concept of emephonics is what Nigerians have not yet understood. Perhaps when the new government comes in, if peradventure is going to have a new CBN governor or is going to retain Emefiole, it needs to be asked questions. What are the concepts or what are the frameworks upon these new notes? How much have you spent to redesign these new notes? Where are the new notes? And what economic importance are all these things put together? I think Emefiole needs to answer some questions. And then in facing it out, you now need to look at the pros and the cons.
All right, so let's just rush over. We have a short time. Our final headline, Daily Trust. Over 500 Nigerian students stranded at Sudan-Egypt border. We know this has been in the news over the past week. That's talking about the Sudan crisis and all of that. And then we saw videos of our Nigerian students who were asking for aid. And then, of course, Director of NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri, of course, was updating us how much has been spent and all that. But you see, they've not yet gotten out of harm's way. They're still some at the borders, some at different places and all of that.
These are part of the thing we're talking about. You see, much as one don't like blaming government because of our patriotism to the nation, the government still needs to do more. When this war was about to start, it's not that the government is not aware. It's not that the government is not aware that their citizens will be in jeopardy there. So why haven't they think ahead, being proactive in how to bring all these people out? We see all other nations bringing out their nationals from Sudan. What are we doing? What are we seeing? Despite all the amount of money that Abike Dabiri said they have been spent. Where is the result?
I wish we had more time, sir, but thank you so much for making this day with us. We will have you much more often on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate the contribution, and we also appreciate your contribution. We would love to know what you think, what your thoughts are on the headlines you've seen for this morning. Please use the comment section on YouTube, and indeed use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Right, we'll take a time out. We'll be back for much more after this.
Welcome again to the kitchen. Kid Delish has been really busy as we are trying to make our Workers' Day special asun rice. Okay, so far so good. Run us through the process. What have we done so far?
Okay, we've already stir-fried our carrots.
Yes, so that's
Using
what we did.
our seasoning and ginger and garlic paste.
Yes.
And same thing with this red bell pepper and the green pepper. So that is also ready.
I'm very curious about something.
Okay.
Why did we have to do the carrots separately from the pepper?
Okay, the thing is, we stir-fry carrots more, as in the timing is more than the pepper.
Okay.
But it doesn't really take time.
So, but if we've put it on fire for a while, can't we just add the...
Yeah, we can just add it later.
Okay.
And then
You just like to separate
Separate
it.
it.
Okay, okay. To each chef his own. So I've come to find out.
Okay, now...
Okay, so what's the next process?
just for us to do our asun.
Okay.
Thank God our pot is us now.
Yes, let's start.
We need
oil.
a little...
Just a
vegetable
little.
oil, yes.
Ah,
just a
okay.
little.
Okay.
I don't like my food being oily.
Okay. Then what goes in next?
So what goes in next is our asun.
Ha. Okay.
Our goat meat, yes.
Yes, the goat meat goes in next.
As you can see, it's already seasoned. And there is no bone, please.
It's been deboned, like completely deboned. So it's just the meat you're seeing.
So by the time we are eating the rice, we won't have to start dealing with bone.
Yeah. That's a lot of hard work, deboning goat's meat.
No, it's not really easy.
It's not easy at all. This one
We'll
is
leave
special
this
something.
to fry for a while.
Okay.
Then add chopped, not the shredded one, the chopped onions and the pepper.
So does the shredded one come in during the cooking
During
process?
the veggies, as to why we are pouring the veggies, that's the later.
Oh,
but I
so
don't want to
it's like
fry
the
it,
last
so to just come
process.
out, the taste will still be very active.
Okay, okay. But don't you worry about people who do not like the taste of onions. Personally, so there's a way I cook my food. When I'm boiling rice, I'll put onions, plenty of onions, boil the rice. When the rice is ready, like not about to ready, I'll now pour onions on it again. So that the heat will now cook it a bit. I love the crunchy taste of onions in my food.
Same here.
But I've come to realize that there are people who do not like even the sides, talk less of the taste. So you find them picking it out. They pick it out. Though I've always
call them special people.
Special.
So they can't, really, I can't cook for a party and you tell me to do for special. I have to cook the general. So even if you want to order a one-on-one meal, some will tell you, I don't want onions. I don't want onions in my food at all. Some don't even use onions. And some, they are very allergic to crayfish. So we need some, those ones we call them allergies, you know, we attend to them specially. But if you're cooking a general food, expect to see onions.
Expect to see onions, because onions also not only adds color, it also adds to the flavor, the taste of the food. Onions can be magical in food.
And it's so healthy.
Very healthy as a matter of fact. So make a habit of putting it in your food so you can enjoy the taste better. Okay, so now that we have the asun, we are putting in the pepper, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the onions first, then the pepper?
You can pour it anytime.
It doesn't matter.
Almost
the same time. Okay. So we're going to have
this asun
now.
to fry a bit more.
How long would we wait?
Okay, let me increase the heat so that at least we have more.
Okay, so it fries faster.
Yeah.
So going by what you said earlier, let's not forget that there's already seasoning cube and ginger and garlic in this stir fry. So note, when you're stir frying your vegetables, you put the carrots first in the oil because that has to stir fry for longer. Yeah. So if you want to do it as one pot, just put your carrots first, then put your peppers, right? The bell peppers. Then, of course, you put your asun, and then, of course, the chopped onions. So the chopped onions are for the asun, while the shredded onions are for the rice, okay? So note the difference so you don't mix them up. We'll try as much as possible to finish up the process, okay? Right now, however, we've got to take a quick break. Keeping in mind that we're going to have a sports segment with Mike starting right after this break. So please stay with us. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be back in a bit.
Now, it's a whole different ball game in the second hour because, hey, the first hour helps us set the pace. Now, we can set the ball rolling.
All right, how would you like us to spend the next 45 minutes serving you? Of course, when you're talking about serving, the chef. Now, this is to you. I'm not talking to you, Mary. K. Delish.
Wow.
Hello, chef.
I'm standing here, and you're saying it's the chef you're talking
Please, Mary,
See, your breakfast
Off Mary's
will not
mic.
be served this morning.
Off Mary's mic,
Your
please.
breakfast, it will not be served.
Okay, Mary, my director just told me that your mic has gone off.
Which
Hello,
mic
Chef.
has gone off?
Okay,
Wow.
Chef Katie Leach, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Chef Katie Leach, there's something called quality control. Quality control applies in the media when you have to ensure that what goes out is of a particular standard.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes.
in the kitchen, they call me quality control.
Yeah, wow.
So I ensure that everything that is there is up to... And you are doing as soon today. So your head is there.
Yeah.
I am quality control. We will see later.
It's not
Okay.
control the quality. Something that everything will enter your tummy.
We're still going to control it.
Yes.
All right, but Mary, can you tell us
Anyway,
what...
we're making asun rice. So right now, what we're simply doing is covering it up with the foil. We have to use the asun pan, of course, to make the rice, okay? So just quickly take a look at your screen to check out the ingredients for the asun rice, in case you missed it earlier. So those are what we're making use of in creating this spectacular dish, which promises to be delicious.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait for the finished product.
All right then. So we can't wait, and our quality control officer Mike Mesikeno is going to be, giving us some insights into what that asun rice tastes like later on. My name is Titilaya Oyinsong.
I am Mike Mesikeno. We are live on GOTV channel 16. And then on the terrestrial band is the ultra high frequency 49.
Yes.
We are also live on YouTube, Facebook, and then you can also catch us on our app. It's on both Android and iOS, where you can watch us once you have internet connection anywhere around the world.
Yes, indeed. Please tell us what you think. Give us your comments, contributions. Talk to us. Use our social media handle at TVC Connect on all platforms, and then use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC with the comments. We can't wait to see them.
Motivation is coming right up. Sheyi Jolayemi will be joining us to discuss the role of relationship in personal Then, of course, finally, we have SME, Gospel Nwachukwu.
Yeah.
Not Gospel on the Beats. He's the CEO of Bytes Communication, or Column, and Zaga Online. He'll be joining us for our SME segment later on.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. You know what they say about reading? I didn't see that note.
Oh.
So I was not like, that, I don't think so. They didn't look alike.
Oh, dear.
So it's a good thing you're pointing it out, because I actually missed it.
Definitely.
I actually missed
So over the weekend, some of our colleagues, we happened to go out together to sort of unwind. We had the opportunity to go to
I thought you guys
Summer's.
had mentioned that earlier.
Oh, no, we hadn't mentioned it at all.
Come, we do not mention its made.
And that's why I thought you guys that mentioned it. Not why we be talking about it when
We have
I'm here
pictures
now.
to show. You are,
we will show the
okay, oh, I don't
pictures
show you.
soon.
Yeah, but it was a good weekend.
We have to. We had a really good weekend.
Take our time. Take our time to rest.
Yes, so.
In whichever way. You don't have to go. If you're sitting down for you in the house like Mary, if it works for you.
I was not sitting at home. I was working on radio Saturday and Sunday. What are you talking about?
Maybe I've also, if I might
Yes,
tell
yes,
you,
yes, yes, yes.
I've also worked on radio too.
We have well, we have loads of shout outs to give for our friends that hosted us over the weekend. And we'll be doing that. We're doing justice to that very, very soon. But for now, let's take the weather and so much.
For the news update on Wake Up Nigeria, I am Mary Bashwa Alimi. Now we begin with Sudan, where after a few days of hitches in the evacuation process of Nigerians from the country due to financial issues, the Nigerian government have now resumed the process. At a media briefing in Abuja, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, who doubles as the chairman of the Situation Room, said another set of 31 buses have started moving students and other nationals out of Sudan. Moyo Thomas reports.
The evacuation process of Nigerians from Sudan has raised so much concern among citizens after several videos surfaced online indicating hitches in the process.
To Port Sudan,
some of the many questions the process has raised were answered by the chairman of the Situation Room on the evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan and the permanent secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Nasir Sani Gwazo. He says government will ensure the evacuation of all registered nationals, and about 5,500 Nigerians have been identified. So far, 637 has been moved from Sudan to the Egyptian border, where they have, over the past 3 days, faced challenges of being cleared.
Our plane is there now in Aswan, waiting to receive these people, but they have not been able to move them from the borders into Aswan. So clearly there is a difficulty, but that is a difficulty that our principals are trying to resolve. I must say that our principals, the ministers, even the SGF, the NSO, NSA, and even Mr. President.
He says all available resources are being used, including collaboration with international organizations, to ensure the safe passage of evacuees to Aswan, where they will be airlifted. He confirms that President Buhari has made necessary calls and contact on the matter. The disturbing news of non-payment of drivers, which has hampered the movement, is cleared as a matter of miscommunication.
They gave us 13 vehicles and closed the matter. All efforts to get them moved, they said, no, that is deposit, give us another deposit. And that is not the language. We were speaking 2 different languages. Now that we've understood their language, we have decided to pay everything. So we have paid everything. As I'm speaking with you, tell anybody that you have who is over there to send you pictures, and I have my own. The vehicles are rolling out of Khartoum. And we told them, we delayed them for 3 reasons. We were in a dilemma of what to do. Now that we have sent the first batch to Egypt, it is 4 days in the Egyptian border. Nobody has been allowed entry, not a single person. Should we continue to amass people in that border? Do you know what border means in those desert areas?
The government official explains that the movement of the monies, even without receipt, is monitored by the DSS and NFIU. Apart from the 1,519 Nigerian nationals in the 31 buses leaving Khartoum today, the Nigerian government will continue to mop up citizens willing to be evacuated, taking advantage of the window provided by the extension of the ceasefire by a further 72 hours. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, construction work on the Kara and the Long Bridge axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has been completed and open to traffic in the early hours of Sunday. When TVC News visited that stretch of the busy highway, the main carriageway, both inbound from Beja and outbound to Shagamu Interchange, on Section 1 of the project has been completed. In a statement, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, explained that the contractors are being encouraged to ensure that the final challenging phase of the expressway Beja on both sides. Some road users expressed divergent views on the development as traffic built up and eased at different times of the day.
It's a promise that they've never kept at any point. So we are used to it. We knew that you are not going to meet up. It's been like this for almost 2 years now. And it's getting worse on daily basis. We don't even know what they are doing. It grew worse on daily basis. There is no advice to have for them because we did take the advice. They allowed me a traffic management system, so that has been the problem. There's a way you manage a busy road like this, not this man that they are approaching it.
It's hectic, but we just don't have any option since it's for the betterment of the state. When they are through with the road, we still enjoy it. So we have to suffer the traffic for the meantime. We just need understanding between the drivers to know that it's our own good and then follow the instruction and the traffic rule.
Now it's time for our Monday motivation segment. Now everyone needs a little bit of motivation every now and then, and Mondays is a very good day to get it, especially at the beginning of a brand new month. When it comes to personal growth, there's so many little things that go into that. But how have you managed relationships when it comes to your personal growth? Who are the people in your immediate circle? So many questions about how to build yourself based on your network. And we have Sheyi Jolayemi on the couch with us to help talk about it. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So when we talk about personal growth, can we give like a little brief introduction to what exactly it means?
Okay, so I believe that every single day we're all growing. I mean, we're growing chronologically.
Okay.
For every passing day, we have one more day closer to our, final day. And of course, one extra day from the day we were born. But when we are not mindful of that process or what is happening within us or around us, then it means that we're just getting old. We're not actually growing old. So when you talk about personal growth, it means that you are mindful, you're aware, and you are intentional about how you're growing and the changes that are happening inside of you, inside your mind. Are you getting more educated? Are you advancing in career? Who are you interacting with and all of that? It's you taking charge of that process.
Okay.
Personal growth.
So when you look at the growth of a company, you look at their ledgers, their books.
Yes.
You see how much they've grown based on how much they've made over a period of time.
Yeah.
But how do you measure personal growth?
Okay, so that can be measured in several ways. And like you mentioned, the ledgers and the books, you're looking at accounts, they're probably looking at staff, turnover and all.
Yeah.
For you as a person, you can take assessment, whether you're checking, the level of your mind, you're checking how much you have consumed when it comes to knowledge, you're checking how much money you have, because your financial ability is also part of your growth.
Yeah.
You're checking how much influence you're wielding, the number of people you're raising. You're able to check, the level of information that you're able to retain as well. Because it's one thing to be exposed to information, it's another thing for you to be able to retain it. Then retaining it and then being able to implement or execute on those, knowledge that you are absorbing, it's also another way by which you can measure the changes happening within you.
Okay.
And sometimes you can't even use this, metrics that people can see. Sometimes it's internal. Because oftentimes we have many sort of healing processes that are going on within us, and that is also part of growth.
Okay.
So you're talking emotional intelligence, you're talking, languages, for example. If you want to advance in multiple languages, how many languages have I learned in the last 1 year, 2 years? So there's several metrics that can be used.
Honestly, I know you're the author of several books in different areas.
Yes.
And probably when you were putting together those books, let's use that as sort of like a business model.
Okay.
Probably had to reach out to a lot of people in your network to make those books happen. How do people begin to build personal relationships, relationships that affect their personal growth in a positive way?
Okay, so the first thing is to identify the growth that you want to achieve.
Okay.
Because if you don't even know the area you want to grow in, then you can't tell who or what you need to achieve that particular growth. So for example, I needed to write the book. There had to be, what does it entail to put together the knowledge in the book? Who would do the editing? Who would be the publishing house? How would the books be, distributed, printed, distributed and all. So you need that relation. And you can imagine that having conversations, for example, with my own mentor or coach is a totally different conversation when you compare it to the printer, for example, or the book editor.
Sure.
So this also tells us that when you identify the area in which you want to grow, then you can look at who do I need along the process, or possibly what additional skill do I need to acquire to achieve this level of growth? Or maybe who do I need that has that required skill so that I don't necessarily have to learn every single thing, that I need in the process of my growth as a person.
So I believe there are some people probably in the school of thought that as long as I'm still making money, I don't really need people. I don't really need to network. What I'm selling now is selling well, is something people need, and the numbers are looking good. At least they could be better, but they're looking good. So do I really need these relationships?
So when you talk about need, it means it's essential. Okay. And I think each and every one of us, even though I would say as a personal development coach that you need But then you have to assess yourself and decide what exactly is my need.
Okay.
But the truth is that every one of us can actually improve even in areas that we're already doing good. So yes, your books are looking good, but there could be more. Do you want it to be more? Do you want to make more money, more impact? Do you want to scale a larger business? Do you want to become a global organization or global salesperson? Then more relation, the wider your network, then the wider your reach, the wider your net worth eventually, depending on what you're selling as well.
There are some people who are actually already connected, maybe by family.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a very influential family member and you feel like you've been doing okay, and maybe this is your uncle or auntie in parties, you know, you meet this uncle or auntie and you're wondering how to start the conversation. What do you advise your mentees?
Well, I'll first say that a common ground is always a good way to start. The room, the environment, what's happening in there. Because sometimes you don't even know the common ground. You can talk about, people say talk about the weather and all, but then we're not outside. The weather, I don't know what the weather is now. So you could also talk about, the person. Have you read their books? Have you interacted with anything about them? Sometimes you might even have to do a quick checkup on who they are, what exactly they're working on now, and then start that as a conversation. Or is it their outfit, their looks, or somebody you both know, or something in the news? There are several levels in which you can start. And you can just compliment them and go straight to the point, be politely. So sometimes you don't have that time to go around several topics trying to get their attention. But nice to meet you. My name is Sheyi Jolayemi, and I am a personal development coach. I would like to talk to you more about this and that. Is it possible to see you at another time? Something like that.
So we've encouraged people to talk to people, to interact with new people that could possibly affect their growth positively.
Yes.
But what is the exact end goal of that first conversation? What exactly do you need from this person from that first conversation?
Well, you need to make an impression.
Okay.
Because that will decide or determine whether they want to see you again. That will help them decide.
Okay.
And sometimes we could make a poor impression. I don't want to use the word bad, but we could make a poor impression that gives us a second chance as well. Okay. Because then when you appear again and they're like, oh, that first time was off, but probably you were nervous. So it depends on, are you polite? Are you able to give good compliments? And are you able to understand boundaries immediately at that time? Once you're able to get someone to want to talk to you again, then they're thinking about giving you the contacts or sending you can find them out on social media if they say that it's okay. And then get into their DM and introduce yourself properly. Yes, it's important to always do that. Don't assume they remember you.
I have to say a big thank you to you, SDJ, for coming to talk to us on this today. Personal growth is a very big deal, but we have to take certain steps to get there. If you would like to watch this again, hey, we know the clips will be right there on YouTube for you. Please send us your comments and contributions and questions. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. All right, Mary is standing by in the kitchen. Our chef has been hard at work.
Motivation is even better with a full belly. And that's why it's good that we have K. Delish here making us asun rice for breakfast. We've gone quite far. Our rice is cooking. Could we take a look at it, please?
Okay.
Yes, so we are cooking it asun style because, of course, we called it asun rice. So we have it all covered up in foil paper to ensure that the heat stays locked in and it cooks faster and more evenly. Oh, careful there. Sorry, dear. Okay, so there we go. That's the rice right now.
So it's time for us to put our
sesame oil. Okay. So the sesame oil goes in. Just look at the amount of sesame you should put in.
Just not too much, really.
So there's something about sesame oil. For those who like spices and herbs and the rest and oils, you would have observed that sesame oil gives this flavor to your food. I can't describe it. It just gives it this jump. It has this kind of meaty taste, but it's not quite meaty. It just has this fried taste that is not quite fried. It's amazing. It's something I think you need to incorporate in your meal. Sesame oil, a little bit of it is enough to do the magic. It just adds an extra to your meal. You should try it.
I like it.
So that is going to cook for another 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
But don't worry, we'll be ready in time for us to give our guests this morning. So when it's cooked, we're going to add
the veggies.
So the carrots and the bell peppers go into the rice.
And the onions.
And the onions as well. So we stir it on in. And when you see the end result, the colors will wow you.
Oh, yeah?
I'm looking forward to the end results myself because, my goodness, asun rice, this is a first. It's different when you make your asun separately and then you now put it by the side of your rice. But this one, we're cooking it together. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed at the end results, but I'm very positive, I must say. I really am very positive. So besides asun rice, can we make asun spaghetti the same way?
Yes, I make asun spaghetti.
Asun
but it's best you stir-fry your spaghetti, then add your asun.
Oh.
Yes, it's best like that. Not to cook with it, unlike rice.
Oh, so it's rice that this process can work with?
Yeah, it can really work for. You can use it for your spaghetti, but
it might not quite.
It can quite come out well. No spaghetti, how much it can be.
Yes.
So it's best to stir-fry your spaghetti, then add your asun.
Good thing I asked then, because sometimes one can be struggling with the thought of, why didn't I get it right? I did this right with rice, so why is it not coming out right with spaghetti? So these are little facts that could prove helpful. So how is K Delish doing?
K Delish is doing very great.
How's the business?
Very fine, thank you.
Okay, so if I wanted to order, say, a bowl of this dish now, what would it cost me?
A bowl of asun rice, that's depend on if we have 5 liters, we have 10 liters.
Okay.
For 5 liters, for now, you know how the price is, but for now it's 25,000 naira.
For 5 liters of asun rice. So we get the 5 liters with enough asun.
Enough asun, everything intact.
So asun is the protein in the meal.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll have it for 25,000 naira for 5 liters. So that means if you're buying, say, 10 liters, it will be 50,000 naira. Yes. No discount.
There can be discount 45.
Okay. So when you mention Wake Up Nigeria, she'll give you a discount.
Okay.
All right. At this point, we have to take a break. Just stay with us. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria.
Now, it's a world that's gradually moving into the era of artificial intelligence. Tech, more than ever before, is playing a pivotal role when it comes to the actualization of a world that is centered. I don't want to say that'll be built around AI, but that's centered around AI. Now, there's something to learn on the show today because we have Gospel Nwachukwu, who is the CEO of Bytecolumn and a Zaga online shopping platform. Now, he's a tech person, or he runs a tech business, so what a great person to talk about business and tech. It's great to have you, Gospel. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mike.
When you hear Gospel Nwachukwu, of course, everybody thinks that you have to be a gospel singer. Why did they give you that name and all of that?
See,
but let's talk about you growing up and, you know.
See, the crazy thing is, when I met this lady in Florida. So I was talking to her. I introduced myself. Hey, what's up? My name is Gospel. And she was like, Gospel, whatever. My name is Bible. She said her name was Bible.
You were joking or something, yeah? Okay.
So the name has always hovered around me. Every time I meet people keep asking, especially people over there, people keep asking, what's up? Why did your parents name you Gospel? Why this, why that? Well, I can't answer for my dad and my mom, but that has helped me. It has helped me to a great extent because people see me in a different light.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so now you are into tech, but you didn't start that way. You were into photography and all of that. Let's talk about you starting out as an entrepreneur, because, I mean, that was an entrepreneurial venture. Have you always had that spirit to be an entrepreneur?
Honestly, I have always had that inclination to be my own boss. I don't want to say my own boss. I just want to say to create something that can benefit others, thereby benefiting me, myself. So yes, I've always had that inclination.
And so how did it start for you?
It started, I would like to say, my dad.
Okay.
My dad, growing up in Orile, so my dad, he would always surround us with materials. According to him, he only told us this like a few years ago. he would surround us with materials that he wants us to imbibe. So you see like math textbook, you see physics textbook, you see chemistry stuff all over the place. There's always something that's pushing you in a certain direction.
So you kind of say he groomed you guys to move along that direction.
Consciously and subconsciously.
And subconsciously, wonderful.
Yeah.
But then you went into photography.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How did it play out for you?
I went into photography for a side hustle.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make quick cash in Florida, so I got a very small camera. I still have that camera.
You still have that?
It started like 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. So I still have that camera on my shelf.
It's like 7 years now.
Yeah.
You still have a particular camera.
Yes.
How important is it when you, for people in diaspora, how important is it having this side hustle, as it were, or having something to keep you up?
Extremely important, especially when you are an educationalist.
Okay.
Like, especially when you are trying to focus on school. You don't want to do the conventional...
Okay, you were schooling at the same time?
Exactly,
okay.
Yeah. You don't want to do the conventional 9 to 5. You can always connect with people in school and be like, yo, what's up? Somebody has a baby shower. Somebody has a birthday. Someone has something. You connect with them, like render your services, photography, videography. So I slowly morphed from pictures into videos. So that was how everything started like blooming.
Turning out for you, okay. And then now you are into tech and online and all of that. How did you get into that particular niche?
There is no direct way to answer that question.
Okay.
I would just say it's I think that I think differently. So I think that when I see something, I always want to examine. I'm inquisitive. So that led me into self-studying some programming languages, and that opened another channel in my mind about how can you create convenience with programming. And for about 4 years, roughly 4 years, we've been working on this stuff, and I like how it's turning out.
All right, so let's talk about the business. Byte Communication, how did it all start, or what does the business, what problem does it solve?
So Byte Column is solving, Byte Column is solving the problem of Azaga for now. So we will still outsource our services to other brands, other companies that need services of maybe mobile app development, website development, bug fixes. But Byte Column is creating the platform Azaga, and Azaga is solving the problem of e-commerce.
E-commerce
in Nigeria specifically.
In Nigeria,
yes.
How does that work? Just give us a how do you use it? How does it work?
Okay, so think about. I'll give you this quick analogy. Think about a parallelogram.
Okay.
That is how the e-commerce system in Nigeria is structured. That's how I think about it.
Okay.
And I think every other user every other partaker of e-commerce is trying to, like end users, they are trying to fix that into a circle.
Okay. So it's four-sided, by the way.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you're trying to fix that into a circle. Now, what we are coming in to do is to convert that circle into a parallelogram. Okay. That way, everything fits perfectly.
Perfect.
So when you download the Azaga shopping app, you can automatically sign up as a vendor. Instead of posting stuff on WhatsApp and hoping for people to swipe up and say, now how much?
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
you can easily have your products up there, and people with marketing, people will step in there, see your stuff. Even people who are coming to buy stuff from other people can see your stuff and add that to cart.
Now, there's one thing I want to talk about when in business, and that is customer. Customer, when you feedback and all of that, how do you customer relations? A lot of people have problems with some e-commerce sites or some e-commerce businesses because when they have issues that might arise, maybe with delivery and all of that, and then they try to get customer care and all of that, it can be a problem, especially in these climes in Nigeria here. Quite different when you live outside and all of that, but then in Nigeria here it can be quite a problem. How does your business, is that something that you pay attention to? Customer feedback, customer care, how How does your business look at that?
See, I pay strict attention to customer service. The way my business policy, the business policy that I am enforcing is employees first. People like to say customers first. But I think great employees will create happy customers.
I like that. I like that.
I am paying attention to the activities of the customer service officers. So if you send in a message, actually I made a joke on WhatsApp one time. I said, if you send a message to our customer service team and do not get a response in 3 minutes, text me directly.
Oh, wow.
So the thing is, I've already given them the ultimatum. If a chat is not responded to in 3 minutes, there's a problem. And we have to fix that problem.
Okay.
So yes, we pay strict attention. Every chat must be engaged properly, formally, and completely.
Wonderful. I like that. I like that business paradigm. Now, for people who want to get into tech-based business, I know, let's talk about the back end and all of that. What does it take to run something like this? The back end, it's tech-based, you know, and that's something that everybody, you know, you mentioned programming. Some people, with the advent of AI now, people are saying that you don't even need programming language, knowledge of programming language. Would you agree with that, by the way, first of all?
I would disagree with that.
Okay.
You know, see, the thing is, bugs. You can create something that's perfect and then bugs.
Okay, but can't AI be programmed in such a way that they can take care of those bugs? That they can fix those bugs?
AI can, that would take you yourself trying to use the AI, you will need a good level of programming.
To know how to prompt
knowledge, exactly. To
prompt
know
AI.
how to prompt AI to detect those things. Because AI on its own is so broad, it's waiting for you to use it. If you don't know, it's like giving a monkey a pen. Probably doesn't know how to write unless he has the ability to write. He knows how to write. He has tried this before. But we can't just say AI is there, then everybody just chill.
So you were saying that you should still go learn programming language if you need to, if you have to put over all of this together?
Yes, you should. Currently, I am the CEO and interim CTO of Azaga.
Okay.
But there is this guy, I want to call him a kid. Actually, I'm 25.
Okay.
I turned 26 in July.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So there's this kid I work with. His name is Sabir Bukti.
Okay.
This guy is maybe 17 years old.
Okay.
And I'm already contemplating making him the CTO.
Oh, wow.
Because
what does he bring to the team?
Oh, yeah, he brings a lot of, development. We've stayed up all night together to figure something out. Actually, he lives in Pakistan. So we've stayed up all night.
You work virtually and all of that?
Yes, we work virtually. But very soon, I'm planning to bring him to Nigeria and introduce him to the broader team because most people just know his name. And
how important is it building a very good team? Because from what I see now, you're building a team and you understand the importance. How important is it for you?
It's extremely important. It's almost as important as breathing because you cannot do it on your own, no matter how perspicacious you are. Like me personally, I made sure that every single branch of the business, I have good idea. So I actually worked in customer service for quite a while.
Okay.
So I know the right way to respond to customers. I know how to de-escalate stuff. So I think it's great to have a great team, but you yourself, you need the idea of every single, at least a good idea of every single arm of the business. That way, you can know the right people. Yeah. But a good team, a solid team, is what you need for development. Right now, I tell my people, we don't have employees. We have partners.
All right.
So everybody at this stage of growth, I consider them partners.
Wonderful. Now, let's just round up with this one. 5 years, 10 years, looking forward and all of that, where do you see Azaga? How far do you expect this to go?
In 5 years, actually, personally, I don't even know what I'm going to eat this night.
So you just take it as it comes, yeah?
Thinking about 5 years, 10 years, the key is learning, growth, and implementation. So we have to implement everything we've learned in order to grow. So in 10 years, 5 to 10 years, the plan, our structure, although we have so much more in our bag, right now it is the Azaga trifecta.
Okay.
Because we have three things that we are working with.
Right.
But in 10 years, the plan is to have, is to make sure that we are able to alleviate some of the, if not all, of the problems we have in Nigeria about e-commerce.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so very much. At least you don't know what you eat this night, but we have something for you to taste this morning as breakfast, yeah?
I like
it.
it.
I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, so let's head over to, of course, my colleagues Mary and Titi, who are in the kitchen here. And, of course,
Welcome to the Kitchen Gospel.
Hi.
Yes,
Welcome.
and you're just in time for, oh my goodness.
What?
I saw your braces. And we've got meat today.
Oh,
okay, so our chef is K Delish, and she's made asun rice. So please dig in and give us your verdict. What do you make of it?
Ooh, look at how good it looks.
Dig in. We need you to tell us what you make of it.
It looks so good, though. Wow.
Let's try the meat first.
Okay. You're a brave man.
So someone, a little bird told me that he's a foodie. A little bird told me he's a foodie. He likes food. So let's see what he thinks about this. All right? Oh.
Come on.
You're doing
because he likes food is why he went for the one that needed cutting. There were some that I could have just picked it and put it in his mouth, but he needed that.
I like the kick. It has a nice kick, like the spice.
That's the sesame does that, yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right, so that's it. Thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much.
A word of wisdom.
Mike is going to carry the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not passing.
Some of you, when we were growing up,
What?
you know how to close the pot when you steam it with experience.
Gently.
Close it gently so that
This guy.
If you learn this skill very well, you go far in life.
Please don't mind if he's not teaching you bad things, though. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early, 7 a.m. Bye for now.
Think about it.